station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, it is time for Veterans News. Hank Whittier is not in the studio. Gary Pasquale sitting in Hank's place. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, veterans, and good morning, listeners. Hank's been taking care of his wife for the past couple of months, so he's not been able to be with us too much. But hopefully sometime in February, we'll have Hank back with us. So our love and our prayers go out to Hank if he's listening right now, Larry.
That's great. Yeah. So Vivian's doing well. I know a lot of people have asked about her. So
yeah, Vivian's doing well. She has one more surgery, and I believe that'll be next week. So keep them in your prayers and your thoughts.
That's great. That's good news. Yeah. And any news with the veterans home on what is it called again? The one downtown.
The veterans home down.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Do we have any casualties today?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we have some law enforcement casualties, and we have a firefighter casualty. Our first is Detective John Scott Stevens from the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office in Ocean County, New Jersey. His end of watch was Wednesday, January 21st. And we have Motor Officer Michael Kern from the Oath Police Department in Kansas. His end of watch was on Tuesday, January 20th. And we have the Director of Investigations for the Mississippi Gaming Commission. His name was John Ballard Gorman. His end of watch was also January 21st. And we have a firefighter Ronnie W. Peak. His date of death was the 22nd of January, and he served proudly with the Garden City Fire Department in Garden City, Kansas. And also, I know we talked about it last week, but we early in the week we held the memorial services and the funeral services for our beloved board member, Donald Harrison, and just to let you know, Don will be laid to rest in Arlington National Cemetery with full military honors sometime in February.
Wow. All right, we'll be right back.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved
We wouldn't be able to bring you Veterans News if it wasn't for the help of WOCA Radio here and our wonderful sponsors. I want to talk a little bit about our Ocala Ford dealers, which serves Gainesville, Leesburg, the Villages, and Bellevue. If you're looking for a Ford, you'll get the best deal anywhere in Florida. A Ford or a Lincoln or a Ford truck, they have wide selections at all the locations. Great models, SUVs, you name it, they got it. The Explorer, the Edge, even the Mustang. Can't beat some deals like that. And if you're in the market for a used car, they have certified Ford used cars at all these locations. If you need service for your Ford, they got the best service anywhere, so you want to go to one of these local Ford dealers. And if that hard-to-find part you can't get at the auto store, the Ford parts folks have it at all these locations. And if you don't want to buy but you want to lease, you can lease from these people too, and they will give you a great deal. So if you want more information on this, you can contact Ocala Ford at area code 352-732-4800. And when you call them, don't forget to tell them you heard about them on WOCA radio. And also our dear friends, Bob Wines, Camellia Gardens and Nurseries. It was a little cold this morning to think about flowers, but, flowers need our attention all the time. And they've been bringing us veterans news for a long time. They're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala. When it comes to your landscaping, Bob Wines has what you need. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. Everything from mulch to fertilizers, small plants to great big trees. They'll deliver if you can't pick it up, and they will guarantee that tree if they plant it. You can't beat a deal like that. And they've been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952. And when you go into Bob Wines, if you tell them you're a veteran, they'll give you a 10% discount. You can't beat a deal like that, Larry.
That's really good. So the veterans home I was thinking about is the Ritz. I just for some reason the name escaped me before, and there was a rumor, I don't know if it was true, but I'll just say what it was. They were opening their doors because of the cold weather to the homeless, that they wouldn't be permanent residents there. And I don't know if that's even confirmed by anybody. But you were saying the Salvation Army.
Yeah, I hadn't heard, but I know all the years I worked for the Salvation Army, anytime the temperature got below 40 degrees, they kind of opened the doors and put people everywhere to get them out of the cold. If the Ritz is doing that, God bless them, because heaven knows, I thank God that I slept in a place with a little bit of heat last night, never mind having to sleep outside.
Yeah, right.
Well, this morning they gave a little hope for a little warmer weather today and tonight. So we got something to look forward.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing it, because, I'm an old Florida boy here, and I've not seen weather like this since I've been stationed in Germany. Waking up, with snow on top of me and stuff like that. I'm expecting that any morning. I'll even start dreaming about it.
Gary, were you a chaplain, or are you a chaplain?
No, I do ministry. I did ministry in the Salvation Army. I'm ordained in a church in Reddick. So, once in a while I do take in some preaching, but, I try to live for the Lord every day of my life.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you this. I mean, it's got to be the hardest part of being a chaplain or a pastor or a minister when somebody dies. I mean, that's got to be the hardest job you have, I'm guessing.
It is, because, usually us preachers never lack, words. It's usually something we're full of or something to say. But, when it comes to, a loss of a person or a loss of a loved one, a lot of times we don't know what to say. And, we can give them the comfort from God's Word, but, it's a hard thing to deal with.
So when you're out in the battlefield and there's, obviously casualties everywhere, is there always a chaplain there?
There's always a chaplain there. And matter of fact, Larry, we got a special day coming up for chaplains in the month of February. It's the day that marks the anniversary that we're going to talk about in a few minutes here is February 3rd. And it's called the Four Chaplains Day.
Oh, okay. And do we know who the four chaplains are?
We sure do. And if we don't mind, we can take a minute to talk about them.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about it.
Okay. Back in 1943, 4 young U.S. Army chaplains joined 900 raw recruits right out of basic training, and they were headed for battle in the Nazi-occupied Europe. They were on a ship called the Dorchester. I'm pretty sure this was an Army vessel, not a Navy vessel. You don't hear too much about Army ships anymore because I don't think they have them, but I believe this was an Army vessel. These chaplains were Reverend George Fox, who was a Methodist minister, and he served as distinguished soldier during World War I. We had Rabbi Alexander Good, who had actually written a book in 1931, and he forecasted the rise of Nazi Germany. The Reverend Clark Pauling, he was a Dutch Reformed ministry, who left behind warming letters for his family, who are published if you'd be interested in reading them, and Father John Washington, who was a former street gang member and became a Catholic priest. During the voyage, the chaplains guided these young people, Larry, and they reassured them. You know, they had the words. They provided comfort for these men who were suffering from everything from seasickness to fear of going into battle, because, you know, a lot of people lost their lives in World War I. And at 1 a.m. on February 3rd, 1943, a torpedo from a German submarine ripped through the hull of the Dorchester, and it began to sink rapidly in the freezing waters of the Arctic. In a frantic scramble for the lifeboats, the 4 Army chaplains served as directors, getting the people to safety, making sure everybody had a life vest. Unfortunately, they ran out of life vests for all the soldiers. The 4 chaplains gave up their life vest so 4 other folks could survive. 18 minutes after the Dorchester was hit, it was sank off the coast of Greenland. The 4 men, the chaplains, were seen by the people floating in the water, standing arm in arm at the top of the boat, singing hymns and praying as the ship disappeared under the waves. Now, in 1960, the Congress awarded these chaplains a Special Medal of Valor, and that medal hangs in a special glass rendering in the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., if you ever get a chance to see it up there. Now, in honor of these 4 chaplains, the Marion County Veterans Services and the Military Order of the Chaplains Association is going to have a special ceremony, so if you could make it, go ahead and be there, and it'll be at our own Veterans Park on 25th and Fort King. It'll be February the 1st, very fitting on a Sunday, at 3 p.m. And if you want more information on this, you could contact Jeffrey Askew at the Veterans Service Office, and Jeffrey can be reached at area code 352-671-8422.
Very nice. Yeah. We need to take a little break, Gary, and we'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be sunny and pleasant today with a high of 65 to 69, and mainly clear tonight with lows in the 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with some clouds, and just a touch warmer in the afternoon, the high 68 to 72. For Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds with a pleasant afternoon, the high 65 to 69. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Attention Camellia lovers, this is your weekend. The big Camellia Show is here. That means your very special Camellia weekend is not complete till you visit Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Listen to this super special. With any $50 or more Camellia purchase this weekend, you get your choice, a red Bonanza Camellia or a pink sparkling burgundy Camellia, $39.95 value, absolutely free. So come on over to the Camellia Show Spectacular this weekend at Bob Wine's and get your free Camellia. Bob has gorgeous camellias priced from just $19.95, and he's got those very popular sun and shade loving dwarf camellias too. And by all means, visit their gorgeous greenhouse display, 100 rare varieties in one place right before your eyes. Special store hours open till 4 this Saturday. It's your weekend, camellia lovers, so make it the best ever with a visit to this 5.5-acre show that's absolutely free. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, locally grown, home-owned since 1952.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Tea is now the second most consumed beverage in the world, and green tea in particular can do everything from help us lose weight, to protect our memory, to lower our risk for heart disease, even cancer. It's nearly impossible to gain even 1 pound of permanent weight in a single day. You're all high-fiving yourselves now, right? So how can you be more focused and in the moment? Wiggling your toes, and then taking a moment to focus all your attention on how that feels.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Attention Camellia lovers, this is your weekend. The big Camellia show is here. That means your very special Camellia weekend is not complete till you visit Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Listen to this super special. With any $50 or more Camellia purchase this weekend, you get your choice, a red Bonanza Camellia or a pink sparkling burgundy Camellia, $39.95 value, absolutely free. So come on over to the Camellia Show Spectacular this weekend at Bob Wine's and get your free Camellia. Bob has gorgeous camellias priced from just $19.95, and he's got those very popular sun and shade loving dwarf camellias too. And by all means, visit their gorgeous greenhouse display, 100 rare varieties in one place right before your eyes. Special store hours open till 4 this Saturday. It's your weekend, camellia lovers, so make it the best ever with a visit to this 5.5-acre show that's absolutely free. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, locally grown, home-owned since 1952.
All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, let's return to Veterans News with Gary Pasquale. Gary?
Yeah, I want to continue to promote our stand down, Larry. January's almost, well, this will be our last show in January. Next time we're on the air, it'll be February. And February is the month of the stand down, so it's closing in on us. I want to give you the dates of that again. That'll be February 27th and February 28th. From 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be at Tuscaloosa Park and inside the American Legion building, which we will have for both days. So we're looking forward to it. Things are really coming together. The veterans community has made a great effort to make this a really good event. And, you know, it's our desire to end homelessness for veterans. It's been the VA's desire for a long time. I don't know whether we could actually do that or not. It's really hard to say, but we can do everything we possibly can. And I've heard that in the city of New Orleans, they've come up with some programs and that no veteran has to spend the night in the street anymore. And it'll be a good thing that if that happens in Ocala, too.
Wow, what did they do differently?
They were able to get some kind of housing, I believe maybe some old motels or hotels. I'll bring Tina Bartlett Dixon on. She's with the Florida Veterans Association. She also is with the Veterans Court, and you know, and she kind of partners with us at Vets Helping Vets. She was telling me about it, but you know, they've taken some simple actions, and it's really worked. I guess kind of a liaison between the city and the VA, and they really got things going on. And, you know, here locally, we have a great relationship with the VA. We have a great relationship with all the veterans associations. So I'm really hoping that when this stand down occurs and these homeless folks and these needy veterans come in, and, you know, we can pair them up right that very day with the services they need. And if we can't end it that day, we can definitely get on the road to it. This thing is really coming together. You know, we have gotten help. People have reached out to us. You know, this is my first stand down that I'm doing in terms of you know, being actually part of the stand down. I've been to a lot of them, you know, that Hank's done, and you know, I supplied the food because I was with the Salvation Army, you know, and did the feeding part. But we've actually had a lot of the people from the legal profession, you know, thanks to the state's attorney's office and, you know, and Judge McCune and some people, they've gotten us people from community legal services. We're going to have people from the district attorney's office there. We're going to have people from the defense counsels there, you know, to answer questions, try to get legal matters. The Methodist Church over there on the Boulevard has offered to help with birth certificates and things of that nature. We've got all kinds of agencies there. We're going to have the DCF called me this week, and they're going to have a person there both days where somebody can actually apply for food stamps and Medicaid and that kind of stuff right there on the spot. Wow. So, you know, we're looking forward to this, and I hope this might be the last stand because maybe we will end homelessness for veterans in Ocala.
That would be nice.
But if it's not, you can bet we'll be back at it next year.
Yeah. And the governor announced on Monday that he's seeking $7.4 million, I think, dollars for. Remember the nursing home for veterans that it was. We were hoping that they would build out near top of the world.
Yes.
So they picked they picked the St. Lucie County, but remember we came in second place.
We did.
So this money, I'm guessing. I mean, I didn't read this in the story. They didn't say Ocala, but this money, I would think, if we were second place, this would go because it's enough money for 2 nursing homes. So you would think we would get the next one. So that could be good news.
There may be something in the wings, Larry, because just kind of out of the blue yesterday, WUFT, which I believe is the university's radio station and television, they come and talk to us yesterday about the need. And our thoughts on the need for such a facility in this area. And seeing as we got, about 56,000 veterans in Marion County that they know of.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, Don, we're getting up there in the years, myself included, we don't like to think we need that kind of facility, but, it's needed. And for the younger veterans, seeing as the VA gives such a high priority for job hiring to veterans, which, thank God they do, that would mean a lot of jobs for some of these younger folks, too.
It would be some work, yeah, sure would. And it looks like a really nice location, and there's a lot of community support for it. So let's hope that $7.4 million if legislators agree to budget that money. So
yeah, and Governor Scott, if you're listening, bring it on. We can use it, and as far as being in Ocala, a big advantage, nothing against Port St. Lucie because I have relatives there.
Yeah.
But, that's on the coast, and that's where the hurricanes hit. We're in the middle. Maybe we're a little safer here.
Yeah, that's what I thought at the time, yeah.
We want to make these veterans as comfortable as possible.
The phone lines are open, by the way, if you want to call in. The number is 622-9622. We were all shaken up by Don's accident and death. I think that really kind of rattled all of us. Everybody here at the station was rattled by it, and we only saw Don once a week. You guys saw him all the time.
Yeah, and he's very missed. And they had his service Sunday at the Countryside Funeral Home in Anthony. And let me tell you this, there was a big room, but there wasn't enough places to hold the people. They had actually came in droves. Don, you were there.
Yes.
I'd say maybe 200 motorcyclists come in. The place was filled. I seen seats change hands at least 3 times, and there was probably 150, 200 seats in there. So, definitely a big outpouring of love. I didn't make the service at Grace Episcopal on Monday, but Hank told me that, it's like standing room only there, too. So, Donna will be greatly missed, and our love and thoughts continue to go out with his family because as bad as we're hurt, we can imagine how they feel. And
his name came up a few times in different discussions we've had, including, and I didn't know the details about his injuries during the Vietnam War, but he was put together. He had an artificial eye. Correct?
Yeah, he did. And, as many times as I've looked him right in the eye, I never knew.
It was hard to see.
About 2 weeks before the accident. And, he was always smiling. He was always joking around. At times he could be very serious and definitely, opinionated, and he was really hardcore, at fighting to get veterans what they need.
That's right.
There's not too many people like that around. Hank Whittier's another one. And these folks, they say nobody's irreplaceable, but I can't see filling these kind of shoes. It scares me to think about it. Where we're going to get replacements for these kind of soldiers and Marines.
And another great vet that we knew through the radio show was Mike Emig. He just recently passed from a heart attack.
Yes, he did. And, there's another thing when you talk about vets helping vets. Mike was helping us out all the time. And, I believe Mike was going to join our board. And, Mike was going to be a big part of this stand down also. He's definitely going to be greatly missed.
Yeah. Well, you guys are part of our family because you're here every week. And we try to remember exactly when we started doing the Veterans Show. It's got to be 10 years by now, so...
Mm-hmm. Has it been that long?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I've been doing it 12 years, and I had invited Hank on because I knew Hank from before doing the show, and I knew he was right around the corner at the Cascades, so he would come in and talk about what they do with Vets Helping Vets, and the idea just came to us, why don't we do this every week? Why don't we have a show? So.
Oh, yeah.
So that had to be, if I've been here 12, it must be 10, maybe probably more than 10 by now.
Yeah, Joe gave me the date last week, but I guess the age here. I forgot the exact date, but I back in the old days at the Cascade, I was on with Hank a few times when I was with the Salvation Army, and we really do appreciate your radio station and to get this news out to veterans. This is the only place I know where we do something like this.
Yeah, and it is a role model for other organizations around
Absolutely.
the country. We are out of time, guys. Thank you again.
God bless you, and keep safe, veterans.
Guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with gold.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Time running out for a Jordanian hostage, according to a new message.
ISIS is demanding that Iraqi Sajida al-Rashawi, who is being held in Amman, Jordan, be at the Turkish border by sunset, Mosul, Iraqi time, or the group will kill a captured Jordanian pilot. Amman has agreed to swap the pilot in exchange for al-Rashawi, but it wants proof the pilot is alive.
Fox Radio's Jessica Gallagher. The message was read in English by a voice the Japanese government believes was that of hostage Kenji Goto. The fight over immigration heading to court.
House Speaker John Boehner confirmed a special report with Brett Baer that House Republicans are planning to sue over President Obama's immigration policies.
Frankly, in my view, is a violation of our Constitution.
Democrats are pushing back. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi calls the lawsuit an embarrassing admission of failure.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. And first-time jobless claims for last week plunging to a near 15-year low. Fox News. We report, you decide.
There is something about the road that beckons, that invites us to pack up the family and leave the world behind. And there is something about an industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz that gives us the freedom to do exactly that. You take to the highway, rack up the miles for up to 3 years, and drive with the assurance